Take a deep dive into the ocean and swim along the coral reef. There will be hundreds of thousands of unique fish species, but one kind of stands out a little. It has a long tail that curls at the end. It's a long snout and a pretty big belly. The creature that I'm going to discuss with everyone today is the seahorse. Seahorse there. Now, what makes a seahorse a seahorse? They have a lot of unique traits, such as the fact that they have a long prehensile tail right here that they use to hook onto different rocks and seagrasses in order to anchor themselves because they aren't the fastest of swimmers, which brings me on to my next point, that they have very small little fins that they use to swim up and down, forwards and backwards. They have two eyes on either side of their head that move independently of one another like a chameleon. They also have pretty big bellies, and on males they have a brood pouch that they use to help carry their young during their infancy. They also have unique behaviors such as camouflage. They can change their colors in order to blend with their environments and to help evade predators, and they also can do little unique dances during mating season. They also come in 4 different habitats. They come in estuaries, as pictured here. They come in coral reefs, seagrass beds, and mangrove forests. Because their snouts are small and they don't have any teeth and a lack of a stomach, they feed on mostly planktons and small crustaceans such as krills and small shrimp. They are also very important to the environment. They are scavengers, as mentioned, with their small snouts. They will clean up a lot of the environment with all the excess algae and excess small little dead parts of fish. They'll suck those pieces up and eat those. They eat a lot, like hundreds of times a day, a lot, because they don't have a stomach. They also are important for the food webs because they are an important food source for a lot of critters such as crabs and other large crustaceans like lobster. They also feast on a lot of the smaller critters like the crustaceans and krill and help kind of control the population a little bit. They are also an important environmental indicator for scientists because a lot of seahorses in the environment is an indicator that you have a pretty healthy ecosystem. If you don't see a lot of seahorses, on the other hand, there's probably a couple of things that are amiss. That's why it's important to keep track of seahorse populations and to see just how many are around. And this leads me to the next point, that you have to do a lot of conservation efforts for the seahorse. There's a lot of issues that go on, such as in Chinese medicine, they've been used for centuries. They've been hunted and collected and gathered for medicinal properties for the Chinese and for small aquariums and tanks because of their unique appearance. I also mentioned that there's a lot of environments that are declining. There's a lot of pollutants going into the ocean and seas, and a lot of coral reefs are dying. Coral bleaching is an issue, and it causes a lot of loss of this space for the seahorse to live and thrive. Some of them have even entered a risk status and are at risk for becoming endangered, of which one species in Africa lives in only 5 different estuaries, and as a result it is endangered. There's only 47 species, so losing one, it's not ideal. The next time you sit there and you take a deep dive into the ocean and you look at a lot of the sea critters, about what makes them unique. It's not just the seahorse that's a unique one out there. And there's not really too many of each species out there. Some of them aren't strong swimmers like the seahorse and are at higher risk. They're collected and used for aquariums, and there's just a lot of different unique